What is up? Welcome back for another workout video. Today's format's gonna look a little bit different. Instead of me in the gym talking to you while I'm doing my workout, we're gonna watch my workout from today together and kind of review it. This is gonna give you a little bit insight to how I coach, how I would coach myself, what I'm trying to do better. So that way you can see it from a little bit different perspective, and I hope you like it. So today's workout is mostly legs, but it's a full body workout. I wasn't sure what I was gonna hit today or exactly what order I was gonna hit, but I knew I wanted to do some Olympic lifts and I knew I wanted to do legs. My knee's still feeling kinda, it's almost better, so I wanna start incorporating back squats and RDLs and all that stuff back in, but I wasn't sure if the cleans and the Olympic lifts are gonna be too much. So first thing we did was isos. So I'm dealing with patellar tendonitis. So as you can see, that's right on the patella. And one of the main things you should do for patellar tendonitis is isos. The protocol is generally 5 seconds of 45-second isos. I did 3 sets of 45-second isos. So the first thing here is I'm not low enough on the wall. I should be getting lower to the wall. Obviously, it's still hard, as you can see. I'm shaking a little bit. My face is obviously very uncomfortable holding this for the full 45 seconds, but I wanna drop down a little bit here while I'm doing these. Second exercise of prep is gonna be a single leg calf raise. So I was dealing with a lot of shin splints on like the medial or like inside side of the shin. And calf raises got me out of them. I almost don't feel them at all anymore, and it was just because someone told me to do heavy calf raises. Shout out Quentin Willie on Instagram. He was just like, do heavy calf raises and your shin splints will go away. So now I do heavy calf raises at least twice a week. I do them in the prep portion of my exercise because I'm getting ready to sprint here. So the protocol on calf raises is we're gonna do a 4-second eccentric, a 4-second hold, and then fast on the way up. As you can see, I don't hold it at the bottom for 4 seconds every time, and I don't do a full 4-second eccentric every time. As you can see, this is rep number 2. So as we get into rep number 3, my heel's not gonna get quite as high, and that's actually okay. I'm not worried about getting a full contraction and getting all the way up on my calf raises, because if you're doing that, you're probably not going heavy enough. Really, we're just trying to go all the way down and about halfway up. That's how you're gonna get the most out of your calves. Okay, and the last exercise of prep is gonna be a foam roller bridge. So this is a super hard exercise. Shout out Tim Riley for this exercise. You're gonna do a calf raise on the foam roller while getting your hips as high as possible. This is gonna give you a cramping sensation in your calf as well as your hamstring, but it's a great exercise. When I hurt my knee, I hyperextended it, so it bent backwards. So this is a great exercise to get that calf and that hamstring firing together. All right, moving on into some plyos. The first plyo of the day is whatever this is called. I don't know, there's probably a name for it out there somewhere, but alternating split stance. And we're just focused on being quick off the ground, not necessarily trying to get super high. On the second set, I'll try to be a little bit bouncier, but first set, we're just trying to get quick off the ground. This is actually first day back into like real plyos, where we're trying to be super springy off the ground. So as you can tell, they're a little bit choppy. Plyos aren't like the thing I'm best at, but hey, we gotta work on them, we gotta get stronger. So this was exercise number 1. Plyo number 2 is bounds. So even though these honestly look pretty terrible, I was happy with how they felt today. I felt like I was moving, I felt like I was going somewhere. So what I'm looking for next time is, you can see how my knee doesn't really get that high. I wanna spring that knee. All right, now to the meat and potatoes of today's workout, which is sled sprints supersetted with unweighted sprints. Now, these are not really sprints, they're more accelerations, but potatoes, whatever. So we got a 5-step sled acceleration supersetted with a 5-step unweighted acceleration. I'm taking about 30 seconds to a minute in between reps. I don't think they're too fatiguing to where I need a full minute, and I'm kind of trying to get that contrast training. We're moving on to the strength work. So we got Olympic lifts first, snatch, and then cleans. And then after that, we got squats, RDLs, and incline chest press, because I want to do full body today. So last week, all I got to was 10s on each side, so 65 pounds. And this week, I was already feeling much better. Last week, it was the day after a game, the Monday after 2 games over the weekend, so I didn't really think that I was gonna do that great. But today, I was feeling pretty good. So let's watch all these snatches and see if we got anything to say. Obviously, I would like to squat a little bit deeper in these overhead squats, but I haven't been doing Olympic lifts for a long time, so I'm not too mad with how that looks right now. The goal will be to keep building that mobility, even though I'm going to be doing mainly powers. I'm not really too worried about it, but I want to have that ability to do it. All right, so I did do a set. I guess I didn't film the sets before this, but I did do a set at 95 and then 115 and then 135, but I guess I just got 135 here. So let's watch it. So as you can see, my overhead position is a little bit weak. Getting under the bar, I'm a little bit shaky. Now that snatches are done, it's time to move on to clean and jerk. So I did not go heavy at all in clean and jerks today. I was happy to, go somewhat heavy in snatches, and I just didn't want to push it. Shoulders feeling good, knees are feeling good as first week back. It's much heavier than I did last week, which was only 95 pounds. So I'd rather consistently undershoot than overshoot. So first set, 135, looking decently smooth. Again, the front squat, pretty terrible mobility. Front rack position, mobility's not great, but that's okay. As you can see here, I was kind of like 3-fingering before this jerk, so I kind of had to catch it. I did a little bit better on this second set, but as I do these every week, the mobility is definitely better. All right, now we got squats. So first, this is actually my first time barbell back squatting in like a year. I had a pretty decent back injury a while back, and that's why I was training Bulgarian split squats so hard. Got up to 315 on those. If you haven't watched those videos, go give them a watch. But now it's time to get that back squat up. I'm hoping that after building all that single leg strength that I can kind of convert it into double leg strength. So this is just going to be, my progression, how I'm getting up there. I'm doing 5 sets each, and then I add a plate. I do 5 reps, not sets, and I do 5 reps here. I was curious to see how these videos looked. I didn't know if I was like shifting at all, but honestly, it looks pretty good. I'm trying to see if like my weight shifting. If you see anything that I could improve on in the comments, please let me know. But so far, I think these reps look, they look pretty good, and I'm hoping you also enjoy the view. All right, so let's skip over to 225. This is the heaviest I got today. Not that it was super hard, but it was enough for my knees. It's been a while since I've bent my knees under this much load. So I was happy here. I was happy to get to here. I was happy with how good I felt here. On the next sets, I try to move it a little bit faster with a little bit more intent, as you'll be able to see. I decided to go full body today. Because just looking at my training schedule this week, school's pretty crazy and work's pretty crazy. So I don't know what how much I'm going to be able to train this week. So I wanted to at least hit chest, so that if I only have like 30 minutes one day, I can hit back and just be good and just hit back, or like just hit arms. So the chest movement I'm doing for this block is incline chest press, focusing on not flaring out or arching my back too much. So let's see how these reps look. I still got a little arch in my back because I like to do that, but I don't want to throw. Honestly, with how I am right here, next time I would like to correct it so where it's not too much, because with how this looks, it's almost like I'm just doing like a flat bench press because I'm arching so much. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but that's kind of what it seems like. All right, back to squats. We're at 225 again. I wanted to film from a side angle to see how this looks, and I think it looks pretty good. I could use my knees going a little bit forward if I wanted. As you can see, I'm trying to move this bar up a little bit faster, not too much. I mean, if I wanted to, I could really move this fast, but I'm more focused on how my knees are feeling today. All right, I'm kind of not excited to watch this set. I knew that this set was going to be hard to watch because I knew that I stopped short of what I could have done. There's 2, I think that I stopped on like, yeah, there's 3. This one I was like, okay, this is starting to get hard. There's 4, I know I got more left. There's 5, I get this rep and I think I bitch out on this next one. Let's see. Okay, I got 6. But I know this last rep. Yeah, look, I definitely, like, you're gonna get the most out of training by how much effort you put into it. And that's just the bottom line. If you're not putting effort into your training, you're not gonna get that much out of it. And here, I could have gotten 2 more reps there. And I know that because I come back on this set and I get 2 more reps. So that set, I'm not gonna say it's a waste, you know, it's still doing something, it's still working. And if you train 2 reps in the tank, you're still gonna make gains, you're still gonna do good, you're gonna get stronger. But if you're really trying to push it and you're really trying to pack on some size and some strength, like, you're gonna have to go to dark places and you're gonna have to push through those reps that you don't wanna push through. People talk about RPE training or reps in reserve training and, you know, what's the best way to do it? And, oh, you should leave 1 in the tank. You should do. But at the end of the day, you got to push yourself hard. And you don't know what 1 in the tank is if you don't take it to failure. So I think people need to train to failure more often. And I think this set does that justice a little bit more. So from this angle, my rib flare doesn't look like too much. It looks actually pretty okay. I like the depth that I'm hitting on these, but I would like to see myself like punch them up a little bit faster. I've always been like a slow rep kind of guy. You know, some people are like really explosive with it. I tend to move reps a little bit slower, which is something I'm kind of trying to work on. So here's 6. So this is the most I got last time. There's 7, still moving pretty smooth. It's slow but smooth. Here's 8. Okay, so I didn't finish that rep. Let's go back to that. I didn't finish that rep. I stopped with it about, you know, halfway up or so. I'm making a face that makes it look like it's harder than it actually is. If I was coaching myself there, I would have told myself to get 2 more. I definitely think I could have got 2 more, but what can you do? All right, last movement of the day, RDLs. We did 2 sets here, 1 set with 2 plates, 1 set with 3 plates. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for my back to stay tight. Not that if it rounds a little bit, it's not okay, but if you want to hit the hamstrings properly, you want that back to stay tight. And you want to drive the hips forward as much as you can. All right, 315. This felt pretty heavy, but still within the wheelhouse. Pretty good for doing RDLs for the first time in a while. Yeah, I think these look pretty good. I don't really have too much to say on those, honestly. I thought they were gonna look worse. It kind of felt like when I was doing them that I was using my left leg a little bit too much, or I was using my right leg a little bit too much, not my left, but it doesn't look like it from this angle, at least. But with that being said, that is my training session. So a couple takeaways from this is I'm happy with how I did in the first part of the session in terms of like the acceleration and the plyos. I think I did pretty decent on those. Obviously, I need to get better at them. As you can see in the video, they're not that great, but that's why I'm working on them. But I was happy with the effort I gave, and I was happy that I was able to do it, considering it's been a while since I've been able to train like this. With the Olympic lifts, I did okay, but really what I'm most mad about is the chest press. You know, training upper body, trying to get like hypertrophy adaptations. Like, I want to push hard, and I don't like the effort that I gave on that session. I was a little bit rushed, so I was a little bit more tired and out of breath than usual. But that's no excuse not to give 100% effort. Oh, excuse me, at all times. But overall, I think it was a successful session. And I'm excited to see next week these weights going up, because these, you know, once everything's feeling all good and I'm full ramped, these Olympic lifts are going to start getting pretty nasty, I'll tell you that. But if you like this format, please let me know. You know, I'll try to do more of it. If you don't like this format, also please let me know. Do all the things, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me know, you know, what you guys want to see, what you guys want to see more of. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll catch you next time.